Welcome back. This is Dr. Guzhen Zhou. Today, we'll continue the topic of firm's cost, but in the long run. So what's different? Well, in the long run, all inputs are variable and all costs are variable. The behavior of a long-run cost depends upon the firm's production function. The first production function is a relationship between the maximum outputs attainable and the quantities of both capital and labor. As shown in the table, when the size of the plant increases, the output that a given quantity of labor can produce increases. But for each plant, as the quantity of labor increases, diminishing returns occur. The marginal product of capital is the increase of output resulting from a 1 unit increase in the amount of capital employed, holding constant the amount of labor employed. A first production function exhibits diminishing marginal returns to labor for a given plant, diminishing marginal returns to capital for a quantity of labor. For each plant, diminishing marginal product of labor created a set of short-run, U-shaped cost curves for marginal cost, average variable cost, and average total cost. The average cost of producing a given output varies and depends on the firm's plant. The larger the plant, the greater its output at which average total cost is at a minimum. The firm has 4 different plants, 1, 2, 3, or 4 knitting machines. Each plant has a short-run average total cost curve. The firm can compare the average total cost curve for each output at different plants. ATC1 is the average total cost curve for a plant with 1 knitting machine. ATC2 is the ATC curve for plants with 2 knitting machines. ATC3 is the ATC curve for a plant with 3 knitting machines. And ATC4 is the ATC curve for a plant with 4 knitting machines. The long-run average cost curve is made up from the lowest average total cost for each output level. We need to decide which plant has the lowest cost producing each output level. Suppose that the firm wants to produce 13 sweaters a day. What is the least cost way of producing 13 sweaters a day? Using plant 1, 30 sweaters a day cost $7.69 each on ATC1. Using plant 2, 30 sweaters a day cost $6.8 each on ATC2. Using plant 3, 13 sweaters a day cost $7.69 each on ATC3. Using plant 4, 13 sweaters a day cost $9.5 each on ATC4. Then we can easily find that least cost way of producing 13 sweaters a day is to use 2 knitting machines. The long-run average cost curve is a relationship between the lowest attainable average total cost and output when both the plant and the labor are varied. The LRAC curve is a planning curve that tells the firm, the plant, that minimize the cost of producing a given output. Once the firm has chosen its plant, the firm incurs the cost that corresponds to average total cost curve for that plant. The figure illustrates the LRAC curve. Economies of scale are features of a firm's technology that leads to falling long-run average cost as output increases. These economies of scale are features of a firm's technology that lead to rising long-run average cost as output increases. Constant return to scale are features of a firm's technology that leads to constant long-run average cost as output increases. The figure illustrates economics and diseconomics of scale. A firm experiences economics of scale up to some output level. Beyond that output level, it moves into constant returns to scale or diseconomics of scale. Minimal efficient scale is the smallest quantity of outputs at which the long-run average cost reaches its lowest level. If the LRAC curve is U-shaped, the minimum point identifies the minimal efficient scale output level. It is shown in the figure. 15 sweaters per day is the minimum efficient scale in this example. Alright, that's all we have for this session and also for this chapter. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.